Hello, this is JusticeSoulTuna with probably the most controversial topic I will ever touch upon in these Voice of JST episodes. Even I'm worried that I just shouldn't do this. I should just leave well enough alone, take a step back, and just say, nah, let them argue about it till the end of time. This is something I don't need to touch upon. But with the amount of things I've covered, and with how my friends know me to always rant and rave about this kind of thing, it was inevitable. And brace yourselves, because this is going to be a big one. I feel like this is going to be the important one, I think, for so many reasons. And I'm going to have to start off by saying this is a preface, so if you have your mind already made up about what I'm going to say, this is a preface to what you're about to hear in the rest of this podcast, and I'm going to start right now before the first minute is up. Camping is not a bad thing. See? I said it. I said it there. Now you can take your prejudices and your hatred and, you know, your bias. You can take all that and leave this video now, because this video is not for you. If you despise, if you hate, if you cannot stand, if you cannot imagine to even consider coexisting with the idea of camping, then just leave now, because this isn't for you. Your mind is already made up. It's been made up 100 times that you scream cheap or stupid or camper, so this video is not for you. Okay, this is my opinion. This is my telling of it. This is I could have gone on the internet and found hundreds upon hundreds of views and read them all out, but no, I'm here to bring what I think. Okay, I'm going to speak based on what I think, and what also based on how it is, and that's why I always try to speak. Okay, so it's going to be one part my opinion, one part what the thing is itself. Okay, so if you feel like you're not an open-minded person, then I honestly would advise you to just leave this video now, because this video will do nothing for you. But if you are here and you're here to listen honestly and earnestly to what I have to say, then hear me out. Okay, first of all, the topic of camping is a serious one. It's been around for a very long time. I can't honestly tell you how far it dates back, because there's a lot of ideas behind it, but not many know when the term first originated, or when it really became popular. There's always articles written about it, like be on like Know Your Meme to Wikipedia, but none of these are always fully accurate. We can't really tell when the term camping, used in gaming at least, came about. Of course, to explain to the persons watching this video who might not know, camping is a term used in a video game, predominantly first-person shooters, but not restricted to first-person shooters, is a term to refer to someone, a player, or a group of players, that sit in one spot, or just, you know, stand in one spot, go prone in one spot, hug the wall in one spot, basically remaining in a stationary position or area, or a big area, and basically wait for another player to come by and to kill them, or to do whatever it might be in that game that they are aiming to do with said technique of camping. Right? Now, even you can see from that explanation that the explanation is very loose. It's very bare bones. In fact, it almost makes no sense. Like, it's too broad. Some people say camping is being completely stationary. Some people say camping is hugging a wall. Some people say camping is being in one small area. Some people say camping is being in one part of the map. Can you see how the more people begin to give different perspectives to the definition, the more it opens up and makes even less sense? So the definition of camping is just, it's too broad. Like, there's no one solid definition. Of course, many people on the internet try to give explanations, but you'd have to read through chapter and verse of people's opinions to truly understand what camping is. Now, I'm not here to give a definition of that, because you've probably heard it a billion times. What I do have to talk to you about, first of all, and you should know this from how brutally honest I am in all my other podcasts, I need to say this first and foremost, and that's people, and by people I mean the people who have a serious issue with it overall, need to get over it. And I don't mean get over it in the sense of, oh, be perfectly fine with it. Oh, that person just killed me. That's cool. That's fine. I'm not saying that. Be annoyed about that, but be annoyed about it for the right reasons. Too many times have I heard people say stuff like, that guy's camping. That's so bad. Or, oh, what a camper. Or, oh, that's so stupid. Or, oh. And what bothers me about this is the reasons behind it. When people say, oh, that person's camping, they mean it's cheap, just hold all your laughs and your snickers till later. It's unfair. That one I want to laugh at myself. It's cheating, and it's all of these other things that are based on perspective and bias. Used to say that camping just shouldn't be done. Now, I could go to great lengths, to talk about all of these other strategies in a video game, and especially competitive ones, but I don't really want to touch upon that. This is literally about the term camping. First, and this is this very small one, there needs to be a distinction between the idea of camping and defending. And this is a funny one, because some people, especially those who are accused of camping, try to kind of sugarcoat it and say different things about why it's not camping, it's defending. Now, the idea is that, and I've read this on forums and stuff, that camping is when you basically take up a stationary position waiting for someone to come by on any part of the map, especially objective game modes. Let's say, to use Call of Duty as an example, if you're playing Search and Destroy, Sabotage, Demolition, Domination, and now Hardpoint. If you're playing any of those modes and you're not taking the objective, then that's camping. However, when you're near an objective, trying to either hold the line, prevent enemies from reaching the objective, or protecting the objective yourself, that's called defending. And I agree, it is called defending. However, people in general will call something camping as long as to them it seems like, oh, that person is staying in one place, not doing anything, just shooting people who come by. And the problem to me with this distinction in the first place isn't so much that it's right or wrong, but the fact that we need to make the distinction is dumb. Why is it that there needs to be a distinction between this person is defending the objective and this person's just sitting there being stupid, doing whatever? Right? Defending is perfectly fine, but also camping is perfectly fine. And I'll get to this later, because why do we need to put labels on something to pejorate it, and it should somehow become objective? If you hate it personally, then that's just you. Myself and many other people don't hate camping because of its legitimacy. No. We hate camping because it's like, okay, that person is killing me from this point. Let's figure out how to kill him. That person defending that objective really well. Let's figure out how to kill him. That person's in that building over there. Let's figure out how to kill him. It's not, oh my god, camping's so cheap. What do I do about it? It's stupid. People shouldn't camp. It's like, no. People shouldn't do whatever. No. People can do whatever they want. An online game is populated by thousands to millions of people in some cases. And as I said before in my online subjective standards video, there's no set rules for what you're supposed to do in a video game. So the fact that some people complain about stuff like camping, to me, just seems absurd. Camping is an idea that predates just understanding in general. See, I'm not going to give it petty names like strategic positioning or tactical whatever. Look, staying in one place and shooting someone, at what point did this become a bad thing? At what point did picking a playstyle that isn't the same as other people's playstyles, when did it become a bad thing? Some would say, but it makes the game boring. Well, boo freaking who, don't play it then. It's not the job of players online to make the game exciting for you. Like, is there like a requirement, like when you play an online game, make it exciting for other players by running around and shooting people? It never said that. In Counter-Strike, is the smart player the person who runs around stupidly? Like, just because if they stayed in one place for too long, that would be considered camping. Like, see, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm not even going to say being tactical or whatever is defending or camping, because it's like, in Counter-Strike, since there's no respawn, you die. You stay alive, you stayed alive. Does it matter how you did it? No. Are people going to put stupid labels on it, complain about it, and make it seem like this isn't that? Of course they are. Of course they are. That's going to happen. But is the actual camping itself illegitimate? No, it is not. And this is why I have to talk about the usefulness. The usefulness of camping, i.e. staying in one place, or whatever, staying in one area, staying by a wall, whatever, is simply this: to kill somebody, to get an advantage, to do something or other. Now, in a competitive shooter, like let's use an example competitive shooter, be it a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. So let's talk like, your Gears of Wars, for example, your Call of Duties, your Team Fortress 2s, your Counter-Strikes, your Quakes, alright? Other than objective-based modes, where the key is to indeed get to an objective, like capture the flag, like, get the flag back to your base, domination, or some sort of flag position mode, where you have to get to that place, cap it, and defend it, or go get another one, offense. Or something like planting a bomb. In those cases, and I'll touch upon this later, when somebody camps not next to the objective, but at some random point in the map, for whatever reason, be it to catch people going to the objective, or just to catch people in general, that is up to them. That may be inefficient play, but for a variety of reasons, but the thing to note is, unless you ask somebody and they're truthful, you will never know what reason someone has for quote-unquote camping. That's the first thing. Now, the important thing to note is, it's useful because, like any strategy, like anything you do in a game, it's for the sake of killing people. People say words like cheap, unfair, cheating, it's like, these words, they are your personal bias used against people who have no idea. When, let's just say, Subject A turns on Call of Duty Black Ops 2, for an example, and you pick up the controller, they walk into this part of the map, let's say Raid, they're standing, let's just pick a part on Raid, like the courtyard, with the statue. Let's just say they're there at that part of the map, and they're just aiming their gun, whatever it might be, waiting for someone to come by. People would say he's a camper, he's cheap, he's unfair. No, do you know what he's doing to me? He is playing the game. Does he know that there's hundreds of thousands of people online saying stop what you're doing, you're camping, that's wrong? No, he's playing the game. There's no rule anywhere that says camping is wrong, stop it, you're a bad person if you do that. Is he cheating? No. Is he hacking the game? No. Is he doing something completely unstoppable and unavoidable that somehow makes the game unplayable? No. What is he doing in that game other than just standing there with a gun to shoot people? Why is it that it's more legitimate to run around and shoot people, but it's less legitimate to stand still and shoot people? I don't understand how that makes any sense, like, at all. In fact, in the campaigns for many games, think of all the different parts of games where you've had to have a standoff, where you have to wait for enemies to come. That would be considered camping, wouldn't it? But someone might say, oh, no, but that's defending. Defending what? You're defending yourself. Think of one shot, one kill. When you were waiting with Captain McMillan at the back of that, big Pripyat area, of course you could call that defending because you're defending McMillan or whatever. But this is an objective-based mode. In the campaign, that was life or death for those two. What would they say to themselves? Oh no, I'm gonna run around and shoot those enemies with my sniper because that would be fair. I mean, those enemies wouldn't want to think I'm cheating, would they? It's like, no, you're doing it to survive. And you may say, oh, but that was campaign. Of course, if they die in the campaign, they die for real. But on multiplayer, you can respawn. But that doesn't mean that someone has to run around. For example, in Quake, when you play Quake Live, for example, there's never a point where it's said to somebody, take your gun, run around the map, and kill people. You just choose to do that implicitly because that might be your preferred playstyle. A sniper might take a high position, let's say on Demon Keep, and wait till he sees players and snipe them from there. Someone with a shotgun wants to get up close and personal. Someone with a rocket, might want to get people from like high points and stuff like that, and also rocket jump and all that kind of thing. But somebody else might think, okay, I'm in this game. Let me find somewhere where I can sit there and look around so that any enemies coming, I can pick them off. Think of a zombie survival game. I can't think of many that involve staying in one area, but just think of a specific zombie survival game where the objective is to stay alive, right? Like even in like Spec Ops Survival, as in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops Survival, or think about zombies in Call of Duty. In some of these like survival-based modes, the idea is to stay alive. Of course, you as the player can choose to run around, but you might choose not to. You might choose to stay in one place and survive. Because the point is, why is it that when this same rule of surviving is applied to an online environment, it's called camping and that's considered a bad thing? These words such as cheap and unfair, they make no sense. I wish I could explain this better, but honestly, that's just the honest truth. Like, why is it that there is a value given to one tactic over another? Now, this is where I have to touch upon effective choices. An effective choice is the difference between a good player and a bad one, but not the difference between a morally superior player and a morally, wrong one. That there's a huge difference. If in an objective-based mode, let's just say you're playing Hardpoint in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and a hardpoint is on one part of the map, and you have a teammate who's, let's just say, on the complete opposite end of the map, just sitting there with his gun waiting for someone to come by. As a team player, he's not helping the team. He's not helping you. He's not capturing any objectives. You might not win because he's not pulling his weight. That to me is a bad player in the sense of he's not helping the team. He's an inefficient player, right? In a mode of search and destroy, this might be a little bit different because he wants to stay alive, and he might wait for someone to come around, even though they never might. But even then, it might be that by staying in that one place, he's just not being careful enough. He could be flying from behind, someone could get a high spawn point and find him, either way. Or, in a mode like Domination, this is probably the important one, by not capturing objectives or by not securing objectives, you are being an inefficient player simply because you're not helping the team. You're not doing anything for the team. If the mode is about kills, and this is where the distinction appears, if the mode is about kills, it is about winning, then the legitimacy appears, because whereas camping is perfectly fine in objective-based mode, but you're not helping the team, you're helping yourself, you're getting kills, that's okay. You want to sit back there with your LMG target finder, that's cool, get your kills. I'm going to try and support my team. You're obviously not. I don't know you. We're playing Ground War. You're some random guy. I can't get angry at you, whatever. You're playing your game, I'm playing mine. But if I had a team of, let's say, 9 friends of my own, we're all playing, of course we'll all play together. But that doesn't mean that I'll say nobody camp because that's bad. No, I'll say, okay, what are you good with? Oh, LMG target finder. Okay, find a place on the map to, have a clear view of the objectives. What are you good at? Oh, sniping. Okay, you pick this part at the furthest part of the map and snipe people. You got a shotgun, good. Okay, you're with me. We have to breach this area. I'm gonna use an assault rifle. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like everyone has a defined role. Calling it camping or whatever, it's stupid. If they have that choice to do so, it's not good or bad, as in right or wrong. It's either efficient or inefficient. Because in a mode which is about objectives, it's either efficient or inefficient. In a mode which is about killing, who the hell cares? Whether you're alive or dead, does the game say you camped, you don't win? No. Game rules haven't been developed to stop camping or whatever it is. A game is designed in a way so that it gives players the tools to complete the objective in how they see fit, as long as it works in the realm of the game's mechanics. Subjective rules, subjective standards, all these hidden, stupid rules people impose on themselves have nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with what the actual game itself is about. And I am sick and tired of seeing people using the term camping to just try and create an illegitimacy for a completely simple thing. I mean, and this is where I want to break it down. Forget all that stuff I said about effective player choices, inefficiency, and all that. I mean, come on. Team deathmatch or free-for-all, someone sitting down with whatever weapon, it's, that's just a thing. It's just forgetting kills. Let's just forget all about all of these smart terms and just think to yourself. You, as a player, are hating on somebody because they are killing you doing something that you don't like. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what it is. The fact of the matter is, if you complain about someone camping, you're just being salty, as in you're just being angry, you're just hating the fact that you're also being a sore loser, when it's dumb. If you want to complain about something that matters, you have to complain about, okay, this character or person has this weapon, or this strategy, or this position. I, as a player, if I want to be good at this, if I don't care, then I don't care. But if I want to be good at this, I need to think, okay, so they're in this position. What tools do I have? What weapons do I have? What resources do I have in my arsenal that I can use to stop this person? It's not because they're camping. It's not because they're whatever. It's because this is a person who has killed me. How do I kill him? Or how do I stop him? How do I find him? How do I make sure my teammates kill him? If they're camping at a high place, do I have a grenade? Do I have an explosive? Do I have a long-range weapon where I can kill him and you won't see me? If he's camping in the back of the map, okay, do I have some sort of thing that can stun him so I can turn the corner? Do I have something that can shoot through walls? Do I have a kill streak that can get him so I don't have to? That's thinking in terms of the broader game in general. This applies to any video game. Any game whatsoever. It doesn't matter if it's World of Tanks, if it's Halo, if it's Bomberman, Team Fortress, like competitive, like Dead Space 2, it doesn't matter what it is. If someone is doing anything, camping, rushing, spawn trapping, it doesn't matter. If you want to think about ways to kill them, that's down to you and you alone. But using the term camping, I believe it's the most illegitimate thing, and it's the standard. It's been the standard for so long, and to me, personally, it makes the least sense. Because I need to ask you, the viewer, to think to yourself, what is actually wrong with camping? Is camping wrong because it's cheating? How is it cheating? What is cheating about it? What, at the end of the day, somebody wins, somebody loses. There's no cheating unless there's hacks involved, hacks within the game's framework. What is wrong with camping? Is it boring? Well, if that's boring for you, well, I'm sorry, that's too bad. Maybe play a different game. Is it boring for the person playing it? Maybe it's not. Maybe for him, he's having the time of his life. Maybe he's excited by the idea. He's in this one point, waiting for people to come by, waiting to kill them. That to them is an exciting thing. Have you ever thought about that? Is camping wrong because it's unfair? Now that word, I don't even know why we want to bring this into. In the games where balance is almost non-existent, where people played with different things and use different styles, like, how can we even bring the word unfair into this? Of course it's unfair. When I play a fighting game, the fact that my character has to run towards you and that other character's got projectiles, that to me is unfair, but big freaking deal. I wouldn't even use that word unfair, I'm just saying that's the way things are. You want to make things fair in a fighting game, for example, make only one character. So every matchup is 50-50. No one has to complain about this character being overpowered or whatever. It's just down to player skill. Is that game fun though? Well, that's a completely different question. Now, is camping wrong because people shouldn't do it because of all of these reasons? No, it's not. Why can we say to people that you are not allowed to camp because so and so reason? It's funny how many video games have tried to employ anti-camping strategies or features or tools. Like, for example, the target finder and the millimeter scanner were created as a way of like countering camping, but I feel like those tools are created as a way of countering camping in the sense that it's a tool to stop people who, well, not stop people, to fight against people who are stationary, as a way of making it easier for players, even though I feel like that's not exactly what it's used for in general. And the millimeter scanner is not as useful as you'd think, simply because it only stops people. It can only see people up to, I think, what is it, like 30 meters or something? Or 25 meters, I'm not even sure. And they're only if they're standing still, and only if they don't have cold-blooded. So all of those things, if they're doing any of these things, i.e. running too far away, cold-blooded, you can't see them. So anti-camping tool, well, not as great as you think. And I'm fine with that, because it's like, what's to stop people from doing it? To use another example about why the idea of calling something camping is dumb. Let's say I'm playing Super Smash Brothers, yeah. Like, I can't think of... let's just say I'm playing Super Smash Brothers as Marth, right? Marth's my favorite character. Marth is an offensive character. He doesn't have projectiles. He has sword attacks. He has to get up close and personal, right? But Marth has a counter, as in he's got a move that counters attacks, physical attacks. When you press down and B, depending on what you might be using, Wiimote, GameCube controller, you press down and B with Marth. He does a move where when you hit him, he basically knocks you back. Obviously, it does decent damage. But what if I say, you know what? Instead of me moving towards this player and being offensive, what if I just stay at the back of the stage, wait for him to come to me? That, in all intents and purposes, that's camping. But is that wrong? Why is that wrong? Why is it okay for me to be offensive and up in their face, but for me to stay away, that's wrong, like morally wrong? Is it inefficient? Probably. Marth's tools are better as an offensive, character. He's much better by getting in your face and attacking and going crazy. That's Marth, Is it smart? Maybe not, but maybe depending on the player. Let's say I'm playing a player who's new to the game, who doesn't know too much about Smash, and they're kind of going crazy, pressing all the buttons. If I stay away from them and wait to counter them, maybe that's a smart strategy, simply because it counters all their attacks and there's very little they can do about it. So maybe in terms of being smart, yes, but in terms of being smart in a bigger game, maybe not. Now, is camping with Marth wrong? No, it's not. It's not wrong that I chose to be defensive over being offensive. It's not wrong that I chose to just not to do one thing over another. when I play a video game, it is my choice, and I don't even mean me as a person, as JusticeSoulTuna. I mean me as a player, like any other player, to press buttons, to jump around, to be a complete idiot, to play effectively, to play smart, to play random, to, you know, stay in one position, to whatever. I am sick and tired of the gaming community putting names and labels on stuff. When people just want to have fun, people just want to play good, people just want to do whatever, and people just have to create all these stupid names and give it to stuff. And one of the most common ones, the one that has stood the test of time, is camping. And that, to me, I find heinous, atrocious, and completely dumb. Okay? And you have to ask yourself as a player, what is it that I actually hate about camping? Do I hate camping itself, the idea of it? Or do I hate the fact that I'm getting killed by somebody camping? Or the fact that I don't prefer that playstyle? Because I feel like people's reasons for camping is not a value judgment, but it's just a completely biased, subjective opinion that has nothing to do with the thing itself. Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with just staying in one position and doing whatever. Some people want to play for fun. Some people want to play random. Some people want to play to win. Some people want to play like whatever, right? So if I want to play to win myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes within that given game, be it Call of Duty, Quake, Counter-Strike, Battlefield, Halo. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what stupid petty names you give it. I'm going to do what it takes to win. I will use the strongest gun I can find. I will use the smartest strategy I can think of. I will take up the best positions on the map. And you can whine and bitch and moan about how it's unfair and all of these really silly little terms you try and give it to pejorate the idea, when at the end of the day I'm the one winning and you're not. Or maybe you're winning and I'm not, then I wasn't playing hard enough. Okay? Something can only either be efficient or inefficient, but it cannot be legitimate or illegitimate. Is camping all the time efficient? No, it's not. Is camping all the time smart? No, it's not. Is camping all the time the thing you should be doing in a given situation? No, it is not. But then again, neither is running around. Neither is trying to play tactically. Neither is trying to play smart. Do people who play smart all the time win? Do people who run around all the time win? You know, it's not black and white. There's no legitimacy or non-legitimacy. It's not people who run around the map are the people who play the best and always win. They may play better. They may get better kills in some cases, but you know, if that were the case, then surely wouldn't everybody who runs around wins? But then again, that doesn't happen, does it? That you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that everybody should camp. I'm not saying that everybody should do the same thing. What I'm saying is just play however the hell you want and never let anybody tell you what you're doing is wrong. So next time somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, JusticeSoulTuna, you're camping," I'll be like, "That's nice." Okay. Now, I've spoken chapter and verse on it on probably one of the longest and most detailed podcasts I've made to date. And this is just me saying to the game community at large, examine what you actually think about the idea of camping, and literally think about it from a common sense. Am I hating this thing for the right reasons? Should I even hate it in the first place? Hate the player. Hate the fact that you've been killed by them. Hate the situation. Hate your situation, but do not hate the thing itself. Just don't. Because when you say camping in a way that's like bad, pejorative, then that is just you being salty and nothing else. And nothing else. Okay? So this has been my completely long and obviously biased thing on camping. If after all this you still hate camping, then I have changed nothing in the world, but then again, nobody ever does, okay? If you agree with me and you think that yes, camping is something that, you know, makes sense and people shouldn't hate it, fine. If you don't agree with me, that's also fine. All I wanted to say was my piece that I've wanted to say a very long time on the idea of camping, and that is people just need to be quiet about the concept and deal with it. Or just not play the game. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's your decision to play that video game.